The Ahmed family had been dreaming of this vacation for months. The thought of visiting the grand mosques, the bustling markets, and the delicious food in Turkey had kept them excited. Their bags were packed the night before, and everyone had gone to bed early, eager for the big day. The next morning, the house buzzed with energy. "Wake up, everyone! We have a flight to catch," Baba called out, adjusting his wristwatch. Mama hurried to double-check the passports. Ayan, the eldest, helped his little sister, Aisha, put on her jacket. Even their usually calm Baba looked slightly anxious. "We have plenty of time," Mama reassured as she closed the last suitcase. "But the airport is far, and we don't want to risk being late," Baba replied, leading everyone out the door. The family piled into the car, their hearts filled with excitement. "Turkey, here we come!" Ayan cheered as Baba started the engine. Everything seemed perfect, until they hit the highway. The traffic was at a complete standstill. A long line of cars stretched as far as the eye could see. Honks blared from impatient drivers. The Ahmed's excitement quickly turned to worry. "Baba, what's happening?" Ayan asked, peering out the window. "There must be an accident ahead," Baba said, gripping the steering wheel. "We should still make it if this clears up soon." Minutes passed, then 30 minutes, then an hour. Aisha's voice quivered. "Baba, we're going to miss our flight, aren't we?" "Don't say that," Ayan mumbled, though his own hope was fading. Baba kept checking his watch, his jaw tightening. "Let's pray we make it in time." Finally, the traffic started moving. Baba pressed the accelerator, weaving through lanes. They reached the airport and rushed through the entrance, dragging their suitcases behind them. But just as they reached the check-in counter, a staff member shook his head. "I'm so sorry, sir. The flight has already departed." A heavy silence fell over the family. "But we were just a little late," Ayan said, his voice full of frustration. "We've been waiting for this trip for months." Aisha sniffled, her excitement replaced by disappointment. Mama placed a gentle hand on Aisha's shoulder. "Sometimes things happen beyond our control." "Sweetheart," Baba sighed and turned to the airline staff. "Is there another flight today?" "I'm afraid the next available flight is in 2 days." Their hearts sank. Ayan sat on a bench, burying his face in his hands. "This is the worst day ever." As they drove home in silence, Baba finally spoke. "I know this is disappointing, but remember, Allah's plans are always better than ours." Ayan huffed. "How can this be a good thing? We missed our flight." "You'll understand soon, inshallah," Baba said calmly. That evening, as they sat around the dinner table, Mama turned on the TV. The news anchor's voice filled the room. "Breaking news. Flight TK-417, bound for Istanbul, experienced severe turbulence and was forced to make an emergency landing due to engine failure. Passengers described a terrifying mid-air ordeal before the plane was safely brought down at a nearby airport." The spoon in Ayan's hand clattered onto his plate. Aisha's eyes widened. "Wait, that's the flight we were supposed to be on." Baba's face was solemn. "Subhanallah, Allah saved us." The family sat in stunned silence, absorbing the reality. "We were so upset about missing the flight," Mama whispered. "But imagine how scared we would have been if we were on that plane." Ayan exhaled slowly. "I was so angry today, but now I see this delay was actually a blessing." Baba nodded. "Allah knows what we do not. Sometimes when things don't go our way, it's because He is protecting us from something we can't see." Aisha grinned. "I'm never complaining again. If things don't work out, I'll just say Alhamdulillah." Mama smiled. "That's the right attitude, my dear," Baba chuckled. "Now let's get some rest. In 2 days, we'll be on another flight, this time exactly when Allah planned for us to go." As they said their prayers that night, the family felt a newfound sense of trust in Allah's plans. So, friends, remember sometimes, what seems like a misfortune is actually Allah protecting us. We should always trust His wisdom, because He knows what is best for us even when we don't understand it at first. Like and share if you believe in Allah's perfect plan. Ayan and Bilal had been best friends for as long as they could remember. They lived on the same street, sat together in class, and even competed to see who could memorize more Quranic verses each week. Their friendship was like a strong rope, tied with laughter, trust, and shared dreams. One sunny afternoon, as they played in the schoolyard, Bilal's eyes sparkled with excitement. He leaned in close and whispered, "Ayaan, guess what? My uncle is bringing me a brand new bicycle tomorrow. It's going to be blue with golden stripes and super fast." Ayaan gasped in excitement. "Wow, that sounds amazing. I wish I had a bike like that." Bilal grinned and patted Ayaan's shoulder. "Don't worry. You'll be the first person to ride it, I promise." Ayaan's heart swelled with happiness. "Really? You promise?" Bilal nodded confidently. "Wallahi, I promise." Hearing. Those words made Ayaan trust Bilal even more. After all, saying Wallahi, swearing by Allah, meant a promise that should never be broken. That night, Ayaan could hardly sleep. He imagined himself riding Bilal's new bike, feeling the wind rushing past his face, the wheels spinning beneath him. He was so excited that he woke up extra early the next morning, eager for school to end so he could go to Bilal's house. As soon as the last school bell rang, Ayaan grabbed his bag and dashed to Bilal's house. His heart pounded with excitement. But as he turned the corner, he stopped in his tracks. There, in the middle of the street, was Bilal, riding his brand new bicycle. The blue frame gleamed under the sunlight, the golden stripes shining brightly. Bilal was laughing as he pedaled fast, the wind playing with his hair. Ayaan's excitement quickly turned into confusion. Then, as he realized what was happening, his heart sank. "Bilal," he called out, running toward him. "You promised. You said I'd be the first one to ride it." Bilal skidded to a stop. His smile faded. "Oh, Ayaan, I forgot," he mumbled. Ayaan's eyes filled with disappointment. "But you didn't just promise. You said Wallahi. That means you swore by Allah. How could you forget?" Bilal looked down at his feet, feeling guilty. He hadn't meant to break his promise. It had just happened. When he saw the shiny new bicycle, he couldn't resist riding it first. He thought Ayaan wouldn't mind. But now, seeing the hurt on his best friend's face, he realized he had made a mistake. Just then, Bilal's older brother, Hamza, walked out of the house and saw the two boys. "What's wrong?" he asked. Ayaan sighed. "Bilal promised I'd be the first to ride his new bike. He even swore by Allah. But he rode it first." Hamza's face became serious. He turned to Bilal. "Bilal, keeping a promise is important, especially when you swear by Allah. The Prophet Muhammad said that one of the signs of a true believer is honesty and trustworthiness. If you break a promise, how will people trust you?" Bilal swallowed hard. He hadn't thought about it like that. He looked at Ayaan and saw the sadness in his eyes. He felt ashamed. "You're right," Bilal admitted. "I should have kept my word. I shouldn't have broken my promise." He stepped off his bicycle and held it out to Ayaan. "Here, you ride it now. You should have been the first." Ayaan hesitated. He was still hurt, but he could see that Bilal was truly sorry. Slowly, a small smile formed on his lips. He took the bike and got on. As he pedaled, he felt the cool breeze against his face, but more importantly, he felt the warmth of their friendship being mended. When he stopped, he handed the bike back to Bilal. "Thanks, Bilal. But more than riding the bike, I just wanted to know I could trust my best friend." Bilal gave a small, grateful nod. He had learned a big lesson that day, one he would never forget. Remember, friends, Islam teaches us to always keep our promises and be truthful, no matter how small the promise may seem. A true friend is someone you can trust, and being trustworthy is a quality loved by Allah. From that day on, Bilal was careful with his words. He never made a promise he couldn't keep, and when he did promise something, he made sure to fulfill it. Ayaan and Bilal's friendship became even stronger. They understood that trust was like a delicate thread. Once broken, it was hard to fix, but honesty and sincerity could mend even the deepest cracks. A true Muslim is one who speaks the truth and keeps their word. May Allah make us all among those who are honest, trustworthy, and true to our promises. Like and share if you believe. Every Muslim should always keep their promises. In a faraway village filled with winding alleys and colorful markets, lived a young girl named Amina. She had sparkling brown eyes, a bright smile, and the kindest heart in the whole village. Every evening, after school and chores, Amina would sit with her grandfather under the big fig tree. He told her wonderful stories about Islam, about the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, about kindness, prayer, patience, and honesty. One day, grandfather said, "Amina, do you know that there's a hidden treasure in this world? It's not gold, it's not jewels, and it's something even better." Amina's eyes widened. "Really? Where is it, grandfather? Tell me." He chuckled and said, "The treasure is hidden inside the good deeds you do every day. Every small act of kindness, every prayer, every time you help someone, it gets stored in your book of deeds. And on the day of judgment, Allah will open your book, and you'll find the real treasure waiting for you." Amina loved the idea of hunting for treasures. But this treasure, she realized, wasn't hidden underground. It was hidden in her actions. From that day on, Amina started her mission. When her mother looked tired, she quietly helped set the table without being asked. When she saw an old neighbor carrying heavy bags, she ran to help. When her younger brother spilled his milk, instead of getting angry, she helped clean it with a smile. She prayed her salah on time, saying, "This is another jewel for my treasure box." Every night before sleeping, Amina would whisper, "Dear Allah, please accept my deeds and help me find more treasures tomorrow." One stormy day, the streets flooded, and many homes were damaged. People were scared and upset. Amina saw her neighbors outside, trying to save their things from the water. Without thinking twice, Amina wore her boots, took an extra umbrella, and went out to help. She gathered children, calmed crying babies, helped mothers carry their baskets, and even found shelter for a cat shivering in the cold. Her clothes were soaked, her hands were freezing, but her heart felt warmer than ever. When she returned home, her grandfather hugged her tightly and said, "Amina, today you found treasures that even the angels are writing down happily." A few days later, the sun came out, and the village celebrated by planting flowers everywhere. Amina sat under the fig tree again, smiling to herself. She realized good deeds don't always feel grand or heroic. Sometimes they are small, quiet acts that light up the world around you and build a treasure bigger than anything gold could buy. And she promised herself, "Every day I will find a new treasure, a new good deed, a new chance to please Allah." So, friends, remember, good deeds are the real treasure we collect every day. Even the smallest kindness matters, and Allah rewards every sincere act. Zaid was an energetic 11-year-old boy who loved video games, cricket, and hanging out with his friends after school. He had a warm smile, a big heart, and a bit of a bad habit. Every day, Zaid would hear the adhan, the call to prayer, echo through the neighborhood, "Hayya ala salah, hayya ala falah," which means, "Come to prayer, come to success." But Zaid, he always said the same thing, "I'll pray in 5 minutes." Then 5 minutes turned into 10. 10 turned into 20, and before he knew it, the sun had set, and the prayer time was gone. He'd feel a little guilty and whisper, "I'll pray better tomorrow." But tomorrow, the same thing happened. And the day after that, and the day after that. One Friday afternoon, Zaid's dad called him. "Zaid, come on, let's get ready for Jumu'ah." Zaid replied lazily, "Can't I just pray later? I'm in the middle of a game." His dad looked at him gently and said, "Son, what if Allah delayed your blessings the same way you delay your prayers?" That sentence hit Zaid like thunder. He paused the game. For the first time, he thought deeply. What if Allah stopped protecting me when I was too busy to thank Him? What if my blessings are being delayed because I delay my salah? That night, Zaid lay in bed wide awake, thinking about his life. He remembered how he was saved from a bike accident last year. He remembered his little sister who had been sick and recovered quickly. He remembered the time he prayed during an exam and found the exact question he had studied. He whispered to himself, "Allah never forgets me, but I keep forgetting Him." Tears welled up in his eyes. He made a promise right then. Ya Allah, I won't delay my prayers anymore. The next morning, while everyone was still asleep, Zayd tiptoed out of bed, made wudu and stood for Fajr with his dad. His father smiled but didn't say a word. He didn't need to. His eyes said everything. Zayd felt something he hadn't felt in a long time, peace. He felt strong, he felt focused, and most of all, he felt close to Allah. The days that followed, Zayd started setting alarms for each salah. Even during school breaks, he found quiet corners to pray. Sometimes his friends laughed, but secretly, they were inspired. One of them even said, "Bro, I wish I had your discipline." Zayd smiled and replied, "It's not discipline, it's love. For the one who never forgets me." Zayd learned that delaying prayer delays peace, that every prayer on time is a gift, a moment to pause, connect, and be thankful. He realized that Salah wasn't a burden. It was his superpower. And now, Zayd's life is still full of games and laughter, but prayer always comes first. Because he knows, when you make time for Allah, Allah makes time for you. If Zayd's story touched your heart, remember, it's never too late to return to Salah. Start with one prayer, one moment, one sincere Allahu Akbar, and watch how your life transforms. Did this story inspire you? Then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful and heart-touching stories that help us grow in faith and love. Let's spread the message, because prayer isn't just a ritual, it's a lifeline. In a small, vibrant neighborhood lived a 12-year-old boy named Ayan. He loved football, video games, and spending time with his friends. But something inside him had started to change. He wanted to become better, to do the right things, to get closer to Allah. But his friends, well, they weren't on the same path. Ayan is with a group of boys in the park. They're laughing loudly, teasing someone, and throwing wrappers on the ground. First friend said, "Come on, Ayan. Skip Salah today. We're gonna play PUBG all afternoon," second friend said. "And then prank that old uncle again. Remember his face last time? Hilarious." Ayan chuckles nervously but looks uneasy. Ayan laughed with them, but his heart wasn't in it. That night he sat on his prayer mat feeling a deep emptiness. Ayan whispers in dua, "Ya Allah, I want to be better. Please guide me." The next day at school, Ayan notices a boy sitting alone reading a small book. His name was Omar, quiet, kind, and always respectful. He wasn't popular, but there was something peaceful about him. During lunch break, Ayan sat next to him and asked, "What are you reading?" Omar smiled and replied, "A hadith book. I like learning small reminders. They help me in daily life." Ayan asked, "You don't hang out with the others?" For which Omar replied, "I try to be around people who help me get closer to Jannah." Those words hit Ayan like a wave. Closer to Jannah. He'd never thought about his friends like that before. A few days later, Ayan's old group invites him out after school. Friends ask him to skip the Quran class today and go to the mall. No one will know. You're not turning into one of those goody-goody types, are you? Ayan hesitates. Then he sees Omar walking to the masjid holding 2 prayer caps. And in that moment, Ayan made a choice. Ayan firmly replied, "Actually, I'm going to the masjid with a friend who reminds me of Allah." He walks off, joining Omar with a smile. Later, Ayan and Omar sat under a tree after Salah. "Omar, I'm glad you came. You know the Prophet said, 'A person is upon the religion of his close friend, so let one of you look at whom he befriends.'" Ayan, thoughtfully, replied, "I used to think friends were just for fun, but now I know they shape who we become." From that day forward, Ayan stayed close to friends who helped him grow. He smiled more, respected his parents more, and felt closer to Allah with every step. So friends, remember, your friends are mirrors. They reflect who you are and who you're becoming. Choose the ones who bring you closer to the light. Choose friends who remind you of prayer, of patience, of kindness, and of Jannah. In life, the people around you can either lift you up or pull you down. Just like Ayan, Choose a friend like Omar, someone who reminds you of your purpose, of your values, and of the beauty of Islam. Because in the end, a righteous friend isn't just a companion, they are a path to paradise. If this story touched your heart, like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that inspire your soul. Let's build a community of light, one story at a time. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum. In a small, peaceful town where everyone knew each other, there lived a boy named Zion. He was bright, cheerful, and curious. More than anything, Zion loved to read. He didn't have many books of his own, but his school library and friends' shelves were his treasure troves. One day, Zion visited his friend Rayyan, who owned a beautiful collection of books. One book in particular caught Zion's eye, The Magic Within, a rare storybook with golden edges and beautiful artwork. Can I borrow this for just a few days? Zion asked eagerly. Rayyan smiled. Sure, but please take care of it. It's my favorite. Zion nodded with a promise in his heart. I'll return it soon, I promise. Days passed. Zion loved the book so much that he kept rereading it. Then, one afternoon, while he was reading near the window, a gust of wind blew the book off the table. It fell into a puddle outside. The pages were soaked. The cover, once shiny and perfect, was now stained. Zion panicked. What have I done? He tried drying it, fixing it, but it didn't look the same. Afraid of what Rayyan would say, Zion kept delaying returning it. Weeks turned into a month. Every time Zion saw Rayyan at school, guilt weighed heavily on his heart. He couldn't focus in class, he couldn't sleep peacefully. One evening, Zion spoke to his grandfather, who noticed his sadness. What's bothering you, my boy? He asked. Zion told him everything. His grandfather listened and said gently, Zion, trust is like a glass mirror. Once cracked, it never reflects the same. But honesty has the power to heal even broken trust. Zion nodded slowly. So, I should return the book even if it's damaged? Yes, and apologize from your heart. That is true courage. The next morning, Zion went to Rayyan's house with the book wrapped carefully and a handwritten note. I'm really sorry, Zion said. It got damaged, and I was scared. But that doesn't excuse breaking your trust. I'll save my pocket money and get you a new one. Rayyan looked at the book, then at Zion. I'm hurt the book was damaged, he said honestly. But I respect that you told the truth. That means more to me than the book. The boys hugged, and just like that, the invisible wall between them vanished. Zion learned a lesson he would never forget. When you borrow something, you're not just borrowing an item, you're borrowing someone's trust. So friends, remember taking care of what's not yours shows responsibility. And owning up to your mistakes, even when it's hard, makes you stronger, not weaker. From that day on, Zion became known as the boy who always returned what he borrowed, with care, respect, and honesty, because sometimes it's not about the book. It's about the bond behind the book. If you found this story heart-touching and inspiring, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe for more motivational stories that build character and values. Comment below. Have you ever borrowed something important? How did you take care of it?